Good morning. I can't get better. I can't make myself better. These people keep fucking with me. But I hope they know that they will pay the costs and consequences later on. That's all I got to say. What you do to others will be done unto you. While you are watching me, I'm over here bugging out because I got bugs on me and I'm tired and my neck and my face and I'm itchy and they're crawling, so I'm rubbing them out of my skin and I'm tired, but I gotta read the Bible and I'm itchy. I gotta wash my face and my hands. I'm tired. I'm not gonna do any of the above but read the Bible and then I'm going to sleep. Because I can't take these buggies no more. Now my whole nose is like all sore on one side. Thumb. Actually, kind of starting to feel okay, but it's all raw. I think I got the last buggy out. There's like no rough edges. And there's no swelling now, so now it's flat. It's not swollen. The hell? I don't know about them, but I do. Now my leg is falling asleep. I have a little bit of an odor down there. This shit hurts, man. I'm tired of this. God. Oh my God, my nose. No, I don't want to use those socks yet. Where's my other ones? No, I don't want to put those on either. Hold on, I gotta protect my feet. There we go, we'll use those. so itchy. My nose is sore. And I'm tired, but I promised God I would read the Bible, so I have to read the Bible. I didn't finish praying, but I'm going to pray and read the Bible. For what I don't know, because ain't nobody following it, ain't nobody going to listen. And I got a little bit of an odor down there, even though my underwear are clean. It's probably just a bladder infection. My nose is so itchy. Again. I can't stand this. Oh my God. I'm gonna read the Bible and I gotta finish praying. I'm gonna have to fight this and just let it be. My skin is a mess. these buggies. It's not happening like this. It's not. Now I got watchers watching me. I'm so fucking itchy. My nose is itching. My face, my nose, inside and out, and my neck. Around my nostrils. can't say anything because I'm angry right now. Because of my skin. And I gotta pull down my shirt because it's like up and I don't need the buggies to crawl. Oh, my neck. Oh, it hurts so bad. Ow, my butt. I'm irritated. I don't know why. Don't know why. How am I going to read this? Ah, your mothers. Okay, I'm going to read this. I'm only going to probably do maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. I'm not going to do much because I'm tired. But I'm going to read again, okay, from the book of Genesis. Ah, my thumb, ah. And keep in mind that it says in my version, in the King James Version, the first book of Moses called Genesis, the creation of heaven and earth. Okay, I know I'm supposed to pray before I read the Bible to give you the better understanding of how that you're supposed to read and how you're supposed to perceive the word. Because there's different levels. Like I mentioned before, there's different depths. There's the surface, there's the middle, and then there's the bottom. But there's different levels to everything. So you got to keep that in mind when you're dealing with life. Okay, let's say the Bible, they refer to the meat of the word. There you have the milk stage, the veggie stage, and the meat stage. Just like in a baby, when they grow, they first start off in formula or breast milk. Second, veggies. And then third, meat. Okay? When they get their teeth, they can start eating meat and whatnot, but little pieces. And there's different depths and levels to each and every one of those, too. Because there's a lot that you must know in life. Because there's many lessons that life has to offer. Now, you could either learn them and gain the wisdom and understanding from them, or you can repeat them and suffer and experience pain and suffering and loss your whole life and go through hell. Would you... I'm going to try. Would you rather experience the greatness of God or the hell of God, where you could either make this planet heaven on earth or hell on earth? And hell on earth may be fun for the moment and the pleasure of the moment, but the pleasure doesn't last always. It's only temporary, and then it's going to have you seeking for more and more and more and more, and it's not going to lead to a very good place. So let's read from the book of Genesis again now. Okay, remember those things I told you. Now, thank you, Jesus, for the blessings seen and unseen. Thank you for your grace and mercy that you bestowed upon us all throughout these years of many trials and tribulations, for the meaning and purpose of your will to be done in your kingdom among your people, to bring forth the truth and reveal the lies, so that we may be able to live life as it was meant and supposed to. And then we're supposed to ask for being thankful and grateful for the blessings seen and unseen, and the grace and mercy that he's bestowed upon us, even though what we're going through right now is due to humanity, to the human race not choosing and deciding to do the right thing and they partaking in the wrong actions and behaviors. So what happens is with that is this is the outcome and result to our crappy recipe, because we lacked and failed to do our homework, research, and study properly, and we've only become mere copycats. And we think that cheating our way through is going to get us to the ultimate life, or the ultimate ending. Oh, my skin, these bugs. Then the next thing I pray for is I thank you for my son Brandon. I hope and pray you continue to help me keep him safe from any and all harm, risk, injury, danger, trauma, sickness, disease, internally, externally, heart, mind, body, and soul. And that you rebuke any and all traps and snares of the devil's works from the heathens, hellions, minions, demons, and trolls. That whatever traps and snares that may be forming and trying to come up against me or my son in any way, shape, form, or fashion, internally, externally, heart, mind, body, and soul, and may they be rebuked in the name of Jesus, and may they be sent back to the sender, the sendee, or the ones that think they're going to be able to go through with these traps and snares of trying to form any wrongdoing, or any ill ill-based scenario. And I hope and pray that the Lord rebuke any and all traps and snares of the devil's works, and to avoid and prevent from any of it from coming forth against me and my son, his vehicle, my vehicle, his baby dog. May God keep a hedge of protection around around my son and I, and his baby dog, and his vehicle, his health and well-being. Since I'm not allowed to be there for him and to be a mom and a mother. And if I take medicine now, the gym opens up at 7. I'm not going to be able to go in right at 7. Oh my God. Okay, so now that we've done that, may the words that we're about to read and hear, may we be ready to receive and understand, so that we may be edified and be able to to take in the truth and way to life, the full and complete details of the truth and way to life. Not like we've been, where we're not really with the full and complete details because we're following everybody else, and we're not equipping and establishing ourselves to do our own homework, to question and make sure that we're not following the wrong things or the wrong people or whatnot. See, I have to do a lot of thinking and overthinking, or constantly thinking, because my daddy, my mommy, my daddy and his clan and others keep on interfering, meddling, and obstructing in my life. So while the Holy Spirit within me gives me a set of plans to go about my life, which you got to understand, everything that's happened thus far has not been in my plans. It's been my daddy and his clan. And yet I have to pay the costs and consequences. Okay? They're not supposed to be running my life. They're not supposed to be meddling or interfering into my life. Okay? They've caused a lot of bad things to happen, involving and including a lot of people. Now I got the hiccups. And we know that when we don't do our own homework, research, and study, we may not even be following the person with the right answers. I know. I keep having to rub the buggies out of my boo-boo. And then the infection. Okay, so, because my flashlight is like, I'm not changing the batteries right now, because I'm not. So, after we ask Jesus and the Holy Spirit to take heed to the words that I'm about to read, or that you're about to read with me, so that they will make sense to you where you're at in the Bible. Because where I'm at in the Bible is beyond the meat stage. Okay? But we can't get too ahead of ourselves either. We have to understand what the word is, why the word, and what to do with it. And many people don't understand what to do with the words of life. They don't know how to make it make sense. They don't understand what the meaning and purpose of the word is. And it's to give us life, and more abundantly. And not only that, but it's to lead, guide, and direct us to life, to the truth and way to life, so that we don't have to experience pain, suffering, and loss, and the sickness, infection, disease, and all that other stuff that goes along with it. But everybody keeps on repeating generation after generation, and we're not getting anywhere. And the equation is becoming more complicated, more complex. Okay, so, I guess that's it. And we're supposed to ask for forgiveness, and if anything that we've done that doesn't align up with his will for his kingdom, that not that they remove it, but to correct us and help us bring forth the right way of life and living and understanding, and to help us learn of our errors and mistakes so we can change or correct them and fix them, so that they're no longer mistakes, or so that we know not what to do, or we know that we learn what we need not to do. See, I got more buggies on my skin again. More bug bites. More bumps. I'm sorry, I gotta get this stuff out of my skin or it won't go away. It's like I feel like I got ticks in my skin and I gotta keep pulling them out. But the scabies and lice is not like it's not, you don't remove them like you do like the ticks. Right, just a moment. Oh my God, you people. Okay, so before I read the word, in the beginning, okay? Now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, okay? Now, before I start reading this, I'm going to make sure that we understand that when the human race, when the first man and woman enter the world through God, you have to understand they were the only ones on the earth, other than the animals and the fowl and the beast and the cattle and whatever. But when God made Adam, Adam was supposed to be the person to tend to the land and the animals. Okay? And there were lessons that he had to learn from the animals and from the land. Okay? But the thing was, he stopped. He took his focus off of his job, his works, and he focused or was curious about what the animals were doing, about the mating, and it caused Adam to become sprung. And then he yearned for a female companion, which God gave him, but there was there was supposed to be the right person, place, thing, and timing and reasons. Okay? Getting together with a partner for life, which in the beginning there was only Adam and Eve, so they didn't really have a choice. It had to be who it was. Otherwise humanity wouldn't have become throughout all the earth. Okay, but ever since then they're just multiplying like ants and roaches, and there's no understanding of the Bible or how to live or what living is. So with all that not known, humanity is just screwing itself royally, just as they did me for the 50 years of my life. Excuse me. If this doesn't heal soon, so anyway, I forgot where I left off. I'm getting tired. I can't do this. I got to read some of the Bible. So you have to think of yourself while you're reading. You have to. Let me ask you this. How do you read a story? How do you read a book? Do you just read it to read it? Or do you put yourself in each one of the characters' roles? Or do you just read it just to read it and, get pleasure out of it, or to read about someone's negativity or loss or experience of pain and suffering and loss, okay, of why they're either who they are, who they're not, and why the situation is the situation in their life. And you don't question, you just judge, and you're like, wow, this is messed up, or this is cool. They can treat people this way and get away with it, and that's not the way. That's not the way in truth to life. I'm like picking the buggies out of my skin, rubbing them out of my skin because they keep coming to the surface. I could feel them. Okay, so you have to put yourself into the footsteps or into the situation or circumstances therein of the character in order to understand where they went wrong or what they did or what they didn't do or what they should or shouldn't have done or could have, would have, should have, all that stuff, you know? So anyway, okay, then you have to ask yourself, wow, well, God gave them directions and like a process to follow, but they didn't follow the process completely 100%. So that made them fall short on what they did not know or what they did not learn or what they didn't take in and receive. So it caused them to build on their lives on like unstable ground, on a foundation that wasn't theirs, and without a job, without an education, without understanding. Oh my God, people. This is what y'all have done to me. I'm up almost every night when I got these things on my body because of these people. I'm sorry, people. This is killing me. This is killing me. It's all raw because it's traveling, because I have not washed my face yet. So the bugs are just eating away at my skin all around, and it's getting larger and larger and larger. And it's going to take longer to heal. And I can't go in and take a shower. I'm suffering because my mommy and daddy were not equipped and established to take care of their child. And then after that one night of fuckery, my mommy went on to have 4 more kids within a 16-year period. And I got buggies even on my back. Oh my God. I got all these bumps. They got me again somehow. Yep. I don't know what they did. I thought I watched my dryer, but somebody probably got into it when I wasn't looking. Because my whole body is filled with these bumps. and they weren't, because I had treated my skin with the cream once, and now I've got it worse. They probably got me while I was sleeping. I don't fucking know. But they will reap the consequences of what they do in due time. No one escapes the wrath of God. Nobody. No matter what position you're in, no matter who you are or think you are, you will pay the costs and consequences of what you do, whether it's good or bad. So, like I said, you have to put yourself in the footsteps of each character, which means, as I read this first chapter, which is probably all I'll read, I might not even get to read the whole thing, which is only a page and a half. But I'm going to read up until maybe Genesis, probably the first book of Genesis, chapter 1. It's a page and a half. But I'm going to go through it really quick after I say what I'm going to say. Now, if you have listened to what I've said, I know it's been long breaks in between, but just pay attention to the main things I say, because I know I ramble on a lot, because I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything, and I want to lead, guide, and direct you the right way, so that it doesn't become a problem in the future and say, oh no, it's not working, or that's not right. No, I want to make sure I cover all the bases. Okay? So, you have to ask yourself and God to lead, guide, and direct you through the Word, to hear it correctly, to receive it correctly, and to release it correctly. Okay, because what you take in, it's going to come out of you. So, not all the time it won't be good, because as you're reading the Word, it's going to clean you of all these wrongdoings, of all these errors and mistakes that you do in your flesh. As you read the Word and you start questioning and grabbing a hold of the meaning and purpose and the definition, so that you can bring forth the right way of life and living, healthy and well-being and happy. I'm only going to read the first chapter and then I'm going, because it's getting late. and I don't feel good. Okay, so like I said, you have to put yourself in the place of Jesus Christ. But in Genesis, God is speaking. God is speaking to all of us. As we read this, he's speaking to us as if we were Adam and Eve. Okay? And he tells us what to do for a reason. Okay? And if we step out of his will, then that's what causes the experience of pain and suffering. When we don't do something correctly, what happens? The recipe becomes a flop, right? Something doesn't come out right, or you don't have everything that you need and require. Oh, it's fucking hot. I need to open these doors, the windows, a little bit more to let some air in here because it's hot. Oh, my nose. The bridge of my nose hurts so bad. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of Adam and Eve, or the feet of Adam and Eve in the garden. And you have to think of yourself as the first man and woman. Then you have to take it further, and each uh, paragraph in the chapter is like a new instruction. It's like a new step in each process that we have to take. And it's something that we have to repeat over and over again. And we're not doing that. The process that we're following is the one of our sinful pleasure. And it's causing things to get even worse and to become even worse and more complicated, more complex. And that's where war comes in, and battles and violence and crime and broken families and corrupted lives and dysfunction, destruction, disorder, defect, deficiency, because we're not eating properly and our bodies are deficient. Then we have babies, they're deficient, they come out defective and all this, and it's a process that we have to get back to correct our problems and the errors and mistakes that humanity has done a long time ago from the first Adam and Eve. Okay? I don't think we would understand or that we would ever find out how many Adam and Eves were before us, but anyway, or all together in the whole land of God, the creation of God anyway. So we just have to figure that we put ourselves in the footsteps of Adam and Eve, or God, or God. Because in order to understand, you have to role play. You have to understand, just like the characters in movies and whatnot. Some of them, they can relate to the characters. Some of them don't. Some of them, it affects them and it impacts their lives and their well-being. And but you gotta understand what you choose and decide to do in this life. Because you've never been here before to know how to go about living and what to do, what not to do, how to do, how not to do. The who, what, when, where, why, and how, And if we don't get that right, and if we don't know what we're supposed to do, what the process of life is, we're never going to get right. We're never going to experience the fullness of God and His Son, Jesus Christ, and the full and complete details of the truth and way to life, so that we can experience the complete life cycle and without experience of pain and suffering and loss, sickness, infection, disease, and all that other stuff. Once we know the truth of the truth and the truth of the lies,
like if we learn, okay, for instance, when God told Adam before he made Eve not to partake of the the tree of good and bad knowledge. And then when God created Eve, and he told both of them again. So Adam was told twice, Eve was only told once, because she wasn't here on earth when God told Adam. So, but Eve was more obedient, because she at least understood and acknowledged God that he said not to do such a thing, but she went and did it anyway. So she was just as guilty as Adam for associating and partaking in such a thing. So she also had to pay the costs and consequences. And it happened in their lives as well as in Cain and Abel's, because they did not follow through the process correctly to learn all that they were supposed to learn. And that's the problem. We're operating off of an equation that we're not getting right, and it keeps repeating and repeating, and then it gets even more complicated because the things we're doing and how we're still living and how we're not living the right way and doing the right things. And then we have to work harder because we're not doing the right things. And the food is not conducive, nor is it available. So we're stressed. The prices increase, and our income doesn't get released. So we're screwed, and we can't pay for the food right away because we have to wait on God to correct the situation. We don't understand the why, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of it all. Oh man, my skin is so bad. I'm only going to read a little bit. I'm not going to read much. I'm just going to, I followed through with my promise. I could stop now, but I haven't even read the Bible yet. So, in the beginning, okay, in the creation of heaven and earth, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Okay? And then the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Creation of the light. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. The creation of the firmament. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." I hope that didn't go in my eye, and I think it did. I think it did. And then Genesis 1 verse 6 says, creation of the firmament. And God said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." What that means is, because there's two different waters. There's fresh and there's salt water. For different reasons, for different animals requiring different things to live, and to help replenish the earth and keep it balanced. Because we need fresh water and we need the salt water. Okay? Then, and God made the firmament and divided the waters from which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. God called the firmament heaven. That's where the firmament, the sand and the ground that's a part of the ocean or the fresh water or whatever meets the land. So that's where he was describing that moment. So and God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. The earth separated from the waters. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called the seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, and whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Now, why did he mention let the earth bring forth grass and the herbs and the yielding seed and the fruit trees after its kind? Okay, whose seed is in itself, which he said that to make Adam and Eve understand that everything that he made reproduces. And in order to get more of the grass and the trees and the food, that the seeds, when they're planted, will bring forth more and more fruit, and it will replenish, the food and everything for the animals and for the humans. So, however, let's move on, because I'm going to end it pretty soon because I'm tired. So I've read half of chapter 1. Verse 12 says, and the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself, after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Now the creation of the sun, moon, and stars, the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser to rule the night. Gotta see where I left off. And he also made the stars. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Now, may mind you, he's breaking it down day to day, because that's supposed to be our work. Okay? What he is explaining is what we need to do in order to keep everything going correctly. Because if we don't continue it to go the way it was meant and supposed to, then our recipe becomes a flop, right? So we have to realize that he's giving us directions on what to do in this life. for works in order to continue living and having life, and to eventually get to the point where he says to multiply and be fruitful. But we didn't learn the lessons, all the lessons that we were supposed to. For if we were to follow the way Jesus told us to do it in the beginning, like I'm reading, before Adam and Eve partook of one another, okay, they didn't finish the process. So what happened? They had to struggle. Then they had to deal with problems with Cain and Abel. And with all the other creation, because they never learned the lessons, because they didn't go very far in their equation. And they're the ones that began the equation, and as humanity continued to go on, so did the errors and mistakes. And nobody has questioned them or understood why it's important to change, to repent and change, and to do a new thing. But even up till now, nobody has done the right thing because we're still operating incorrectly. We're still not living correctly. And I've still got licensed scabies for the past 33, 34 years, 35 years. Yes, I'm using my fork to itch my back and my head because I have to. Because my nails and fingers hurt from the problem I have with my bones or my skin or my body or whatever it is. I need a big enough fork, a long enough fork. Oh my God, my body is so full of these things. I'm so itchy. Buggy, go away. I got a piece of hair. Oh my God. They must have got me again that night, the last night I took a shower, because my back is so much more broken out now, my stomach. They got me again before I got dressed. That's what they did. Or when I was in the towel. I gotta start checking the bathrooms, make sure they're not standing up on the toilet next to me and putting this shit on me, because I think that's what they do. Oh my God. Because the sink is right by the next stall. All they have to do is stand on the toilet and while I'm brushing my teeth or looking in the mirror at my face or something, and they just throw dust at me. Or they could use people at the laundromat while I'm sleeping. That's what they do. I'm so broken out. And I treated myself with the cream already. And now they're going to make me use more. And then, they fucktards, man. Hold on, I'm going to continue a little bit more. I'm going to try to read till chapter 2, but that's it. because I'm getting tired. It's hard for me to seek the information that I want to share with you, because I'm tired and I don't have the. Oh my God. Ow. I swear to God, I better not have any buggies in my pants. Oh, man. Okay, so the creation of fish, fowl, beasts, and cattle. Now, may I mind you, these were the directions that God has given us. Remember I said John 1:1, I think it was, or was it? I think that was one. In the beginning was God, was the Word was God was the Word. Okay? Because that's describing in the beginning God. In the beginning God, which brings us back to the Genesis, the book of Genesis. Okay? Whenever he says back to the beginning, or the in the beginning meant we have to follow this instruction. This is the process. Just like when we're working, we have to follow a certain process. Okay? And if we don't, then it doesn't, the transaction doesn't go right, or we don't treat the customer right, or we don't give a full and complete, thorough process like we're supposed to. Now, also, as we're reading this, we have to forget everything that we've learned thus far. Not quite forget all the way, but because we have to have something to compare to. Now, the reason why I'm reading from the book of Genesis is because the things that we're going through now, all the trials and tribulations, and the just all the crime, violence, drama, and murder, and sickness, infection, disease, and what have you, and the incorrect living, the filthy, dirty living, and how our houses and the land is becoming so polluted, and we're not living correctly, and we produce too much garbage, and we have nowhere to put it, and we're putting it in our oceans, and it's causing problems with the animals and with us, and we're affecting our own way of life, and we don't even know it. Because we think we're the king shit. Nope, I hate to tell you, you're not. Not until you get the okay from God to say, okay, my child, you have overcome every test, trial, and tribulation that I've sent you. Now you are considered like the one ahead, like the one that's to come after you read the word, or to come after Jesus Christ, because when he passed away, in order to get the information that we needed, we had to understand the process in which we had to follow and why. And we were supposed to learn, question, My body's getting so itchy, my legs and everything. But I'm going to call it quits after I read this. This is the last paragraph. Creation of the fish, fowl, beast, and cattle. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven, the skies. And God created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. Now, he have not yet created Adam yet. He's right now in chapter 1, verse 21, he's talking to the animals, to the creation of the fish, fowl, beast, and cattle. Okay? And telling them to be fruitful and multiply and to bring forth abundantly. Because that's supposed to be the food for all that is within the cycle of food, the food chain. And even with people, okay? But after so many generations of thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we're crapping all over ourselves and each other. We're not living right. We're not doing the right things. We're not partaking in the right type of life and living according to the truth and way to life. We're following the flesh, the ways of the flesh. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. And and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and God saw that it was good. The creation of man in the image of God. Okay? Now this is chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth over the earth, or upon the earth. Okay? This is telling us this is supposed to be our job. This is how the process in which we're supposed to follow if we want to continue to be alive. But who's doing that? The farmers, but they're not even doing it right. Because now we've got millions and millions and multitudes of people, and we're operating off of a conspired life, and with them not bringing forth to bring forth the truth and way to life, and the process in which we were supposed to go through before man came along and interfered and meddled with Eve and with himself, with the lies and whatnot. And now he deceived Adam and Eve. Adam deceived himself and Eve. And the same with Eve. Eve deceived herself and God and Adam, because they were not supposed to partake of each other until they processed their works, and they didn't do that. And my uncle took the way of the curse, and he remained a part of the problem, and it took him out. I'm about to go to sleep, people. I'm going to continue tomorrow. I got to go to sleep. I can't do no more. But remember, I left off at the creation of man in the image of God. Okay? I'm going to pick up on that tomorrow. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm tired. It's getting late. 2:37. Good night. God bless. In the name of Jesus. Amen.